So hi guys, warm welcome to this session, the first session. This is Satya here. And, see, this is going to be an overview about the analytics, data analytics, as well as the Power BI. Okay. And there are two streams. One is the data analytics, other one is data science. Okay. So what the plan is, we first start with data analytics. As part of this, you will be learning how to use Power BI also, because nowadays the employees are looking for the associates to be good with Power BI tool also. If you are looking for a data science role, okay, they look for this one also. Earlier, they were looking for Tableau. And obviously, you can use Python to do the data analysis. But with Power BI, you can create stunning dashboards, and you can do a lot of data analytics without doing heavy lifting. Okay, this course is not only designed for associates, those looking for domain change, but also to help the Power BI or data analytics professionals to take their career to the next level. Excuse me. Second, that's what. This course is not only designed for associates, those looking for domain change, but also to help the Power BI or data analytics professionals or the data scientists to take their career to the next level. So it is an hands-on project-based, course. You will put your Power BI skills to test and apply what you have learned. Not only this one, and those of you are, going to continue with the data science course, right? You will be learning more, real-time related scenarios or the real-time projects. Okay. So, all right. Before we get started, just a quick intro about me. I'm Satya. I will be your trainer, and I carry close to 15.5 years. Currently employed as a lead data scientist and a BI consultant for a leading US-based retail company with a development facility in Bangalore. So during my stint with numerous engagements in the past, and I had the opportunity to work in a variety of industries, including retail, healthcare, and banking, as well as I got an opportunity to work or involve in the complete life cycle of both the BI as well as data science projects. Okay, that's pretty much about me. Let's take a quick look at what topic that will be covered today in today's session. We'll start with help you to understand what is analytics. See, we have a mix of people here, okay, and I have non-technical people and people from different domain, okay, and with a different academic background, they join this session. Hence, I will treat everyone as layman. Okay, you don't know anything about it. Okay, hence I will start with help you to understand what is analytics and what is business intelligence and what is Power BI. Because if you say you're a Power BI developer, the BI stands for business intelligence. Okay, the BI, okay, this stands for the Power BI tool falls under the business intelligence domain. Okay, so next we will take a look at why Power BI. So why there is a lot of hype around Power BI? Is that a hype or reality? Okay, and why not other self-service business intelligence tool in the market like Tableau or ClickSense and so on? Okay. Next, we will move ahead with understanding the various components of Power BI, and we'll take a deep dive in each component of Power BI. And next, we'll help you out how to install Power BI. Those of you already installed Power BI, don't worry. Okay, you just bear with me. And the next one is setting up Power BI Cloud Service. How to set Power BI Cloud? But I would suggest strongly let us not do this now. This one probably after a month you can create it, because in Power BI, Microsoft, right? So they give 60 days duration, trial period to use, do the credentials. Let's say if you go and sign up on their website, we have something called app.powerbi.com. And once you sign up now, so you will have access only for 60 days. Okay, after that, you need to renew it with the pro license or premium license. Okay, so okay, guys, those of you who joined for data science, right? So we will start with the basics like analytics and how to perform data analytics with Power BI, and we will see how you people scale up in a month's time. So those data scientist people can scale up. We will have one more parallel session, okay, for the data science. Okay. Okay, when it comes to the analytics professionals, okay, we will now take a look at what is analytics. What is data analytics? So data analytics is a method of exploring and then analyzing the data sets. Nowadays, the volume of the data is very high. Okay, and there are, these are, okay, when you explore and analyze the data sets, whether it's a small data or mid-sized data or large data set, okay, end of the day, you'll be able to gather patterns by looking at the charts, the visuals, okay, and also you can identify the hidden trends, patterns, explore and new correlations. By doing so, you can deduce a conclusion by, the valuable insights or actionable insights. You'll be able to gain actionable insights. Also, by doing data analytics, you can identify the problem areas and you can make course corrections then and there. All right. So also, right, the okay, the once you gain an insight, the insights from the visuals or charts, right? With this insight, you can help the management or the stakeholders to make strategic business decisions, to make business predictions or so. Okay. For example, right? So okay, what exactly analytics? So this is what is analytics. You are basically, you see, you are having the data given to you. With that data, you need to create a report based on the requirements from various stakeholders across the different line of business. What is line of business? Sorry, guys, so bear with me because I have freshers also, they're college students. Okay, just passed. So the line of business is nothing but department. Say Americans, right? They use the term line of business. Instead of saying department, they say line of business. Supposing you have supply chain line of business is there. So each department, right? So you have something called the assortment department, and you have something else called, and you have something called inventory. Okay, you have something called inventory, and you have something called finance. Okay, and you have something else called marketing. Likewise, you have a lot of departments. Line of businesses are there. So each department, have their own managers, or let's say VP marketing and VP supply chain, right? Each, but the top guys will be there for each department. Under those top guys, the managers or operational managers will be reporting to them. And each department, the expectations when it comes to analytics or reporting are completely different. There are slightly some overlap, but it is not exactly same. Okay, there will be some kind of little bit overlap, not much. Okay, and in the case of marketing, right? So they wanted to understand the sales team's performance. They wanted to understand which salesperson is performing well in which region. Okay, supposing a specific salesperson is not performing well in North region, probably you can put him in South region, or you can give him some training based on his experience. If he's completely fresher, have 0 years experience or 1 year experience, lesser experience, you can train him the tricks of the trade. Okay, and even after that, if he's not scaling up, probably language could be the barrier. Identify the problem. If he is not fluent in the north area people, whatever the language they speak, right? So what you do is you can find out from him which language is comfortable. You can put him in the area where he is comfortable with the language. These are the simple thing, okay? And that's right. So by having a report in his hand, by looking at it, he can understand which person is performing well, which person is not performing well, so that he can take the timely decisions. If he delays, what will happen? For example, North region, our customer base is very high. Just because our salesperson, or doesn't have enough skills to market our product in the North region, what will happen? Right. So the North customers will tend to, attrite. What do you mean by attrite? They will, look, they will migrate to some other, company. For example, Amazon is there, right? So, or Walmart. They will see, okay, these guys are not good. Whenever I contact, there is no proper response. Better I'll go with Amazon because they are rigorously following up with us. Even after we had only one, discussion or inquiry with them, they keep on following up with us. So, end of the day, you lose customers. Okay, with the help of the report, right? So reports also to be made on a timely basis by reviewing the report on a weekly basis. The VP sales will get to know, okay, with the region, are we doing good? Whether the problem is with salesperson or the problem with the product which we are selling it, or problem with our brand, or problem with our service. When he get to know, the first step is going to look at the report, and he sees North is doing good and South is going, everything is good. But the North, we could see, some kind of a dip here compared to last quarter. Why is that? What is the problem? So when you start, do the diagnostic analytics, when you take a deep dive to understand, or when you do the root cause analysis, you will get to know, or the exact reason. The simple example could be like, recently we shifted a new salesperson there. He's not performing well, okay, because of language problem. Okay, better you can. So when you look at this reporter, you will get to know what is happening currently. If you don't monitor periodically, if you don't review it, see, if you don't monitor, if you don't review, what will happen? The health condition, right? If you are above 35 nowadays in this generation, you need to monitor your health, right? But at least once in 6 months you do the blood test. That is enough, right? And if you don't monitor, you can expect some unwanted surprises when it comes to health, or when it comes to business. That is what is going to happen. So when it comes to any enterprises, see, nowadays almost all the enterprise, be it a startup or mid-sized or bigger company, almost all the companies, they made the analytics and artificial intelligence as part of the DNA, company's DNA. Okay, so it is mandatory. Okay, every week I need the report. There are, for operational managers, daily reports are very much important, and so on so time it should be available. Okay, there should not be any delay, no excuses. So likewise, each department, they have their own requirement. They have their own priorities. Okay, when it comes to analytics. Okay, so that they can make the timely decisions. Whether, for example, in the North region, we could see a dip in a specific category or specific product compared to previous quarter, or with other regions. So with the problem with the salesperson, or whether the problem with the product or brand itself or product, or maybe the preference of the North Indian people is completely different from the purchase behavior of the South Indian people or South American people, right? So there is a, the preference when it comes to the region to region, the preference, customer preference will differ. So in that case, we'll decide whether, we can, probably we discard this product. Some cases, okay, my sales is amazing. Sales is very good, but the margin is it's not so impressive. But we have to spend a hell lot of effort, but end of the day, my margin is very less. But there are some products, if you see, though the sales is not so good, but the margin is really good. So likewise, when you look at the report, when you review the report, you will get to know the patterns, you will get to know the trends, and hidden patterns also you can find out. Okay. So with this, you can make the timely decision. You can probably, fine tune your strategy. Okay, next we will take a look at the types of analytics. Okay, now guys, tell me what is analytics. We are performing analysis using data. Okay, by using the visuals. Nowadays we use the sophisticated reporting tools like, or the self-service business engine tools like Power BI, Tableau. We use this tool to create visuals, visually compelling dashboards and reports. By looking at these reports and dashboards, you will get to know, oh, this is what this pie chart says. This is what the column chart, bar chart says. Okay, with this bar chart, I can make out, okay, there is something fishy here, something, wrong here. But when I look at my other bar, stacked bar chart, I could see that, something wrong is going to happen in the, near future. Probably we will take a proactive stand or proactive measure. We'll come up with a proactive measure in order to mitigate any, risk if you foresee. Okay. So net using, we do analytics, okay, with the data. So we need to have the data. That is the prerequisite. Once you have the data, the next step is we do cleaning everything, which I will discuss it a little later. And the next step is we create reports and dashboards. With the help of the dashboards and reports, we should be able to gain insights quickly. By gaining the insights, right, you can alter your strategies. Okay, there are 4 different types of analytics. The one is the descriptive analytics. As part of the descriptive analytics, we are more particular about what happened in the past, or what is happening currently, what happened in the past. So last week, too many calls to call center. So this is what you can say it, right? The number of calls to the, that is one metric, number of calls when it comes to call center, right? Number of calls. When you get more number of calls, so when you see something like that, right, then something wrong. Customer is not happy. Okay, because since they are posing a lot of problems with our product, they are keep calling us. If our product is really good, they wouldn't have called. Probably they would have called 1 or 2 times. Okay, as far as descriptive analytics, by looking at the report, we will get to know what has happened in the past. It gives you the snapshot of what has happened in the past. And next, when you look at the report, if you find something wrong, like I said, right? So why are we getting too many calls? We are selling 10 products. And why are we getting too many calls? Number one question. Number two is, for which product? Why are we getting that? That is where the diagnostic analytics comes into picture. Okay, in your KPI, in your dashboard, you have something like, number of calls received. You have something like, this is called your KPI, key performance metrics. Don't worry, I'll explain it everything in detail. Number of calls, okay, is 12, or let's 42 calls, or 102 calls. For this month, we have received 102 calls. When you see this, the question which pops up in your mind is something wrong here. Why are we getting 102? This is a cause for concern. Next thing is, as part of descriptive analytics, you see what they give it. And the next step is, okay, why something, why so many calls? You want to take a deep dive. So that is where we perform diagnostic analytics. As part of this, we will get to know, oh, something wrong. Okay, something wrong, and why it is wrong. Okay, it's a specific department on for a specific product, we are getting more number of calls from the customers, because this specific brand and specific model, they recently launched it. A lot of defects are coming up now. That could be the reason. As for diagnostic analysis, you will get to know that. So why did it happen? So this is what happened, and why did it happen? What is likely to happen? This is what the advanced analytics, predictive analytics. As part of this, you will get to know what is going to happen in the future. You are going to make a prediction. Okay. And in the past, the organizations were focusing more only on these two aspects. Okay. So they asked the IT team, the software development team, hey, give me this report, this, region-wise, quarter-wise sales performance, region-wise, district managers-wise, salesperson-wise sales performance. Okay, they are very particular about that. Okay, and then in case of any red flag, if they find it, right, something wrong, okay, in the report. So they will do diagnostic analytics. Another example is, for example, in quarter one and quarter two, you are comparing quarter on quarter sales performance. In the quarter one, the revenue was something like 10K dollar, and in quarter two also somewhat the revenue was somewhat maybe 11K, okay, somewhat close to 11K. But here if you see the net margin, your net margin is right, you can see here, let's your net margin is 2K, whereas here the net margin is just 1K. Though the revenue was more, slightly more compared to my previous quarter, in this quarter my net margin went down. This is what the report will show as part of descriptive analytics. Okay, it just simply show you what it will show you the as is state of your business performance. By looking at this, okay, man, so quarter one, quarter two, more or less same. In fact, in quarter two, the revenue is slightly more compared to quarter one, but my net margin went down compared to quarter one. So what went wrong? So that is where what we do is, that is what is called as diagnostic. And if you want to analyze this, okay, you take, you will write some SQL query, or you will, pull some other data, and then you will find out the cost for this. That is what we do it. So in the past, they were doing only these two things. And at some point, the enterprises started realizing that, is there any way if I can predict the future? Is it possible to predict, how many number of products will be purchased by our customers across the categories? Is it possible to know well ahead? Hello, just give me a second. Sorry, I'm getting, yeah, no problem. Fine. So the organizations or the enterprises, they no longer, they no longer want to live only with these two type of analytics. They want to go one step further, and they want to do some kind of, prediction. They want to predict, is it possible for me to predict which customer is going to purchase which product for the next month? Is it possible to know that? Okay. And right. And also, is it possible to, by knowing this, what they are going to do, if they get to know that, they can be well prepared. So when they, if they get to know, okay, in so and so customer is going to so and so, they are going to buy so and so product for the next month, what you can do is you can optimize your inventory levels. Okay. So for example, instead of stocking up, more number of products for a specific brand or specific model of a brand, right? Blindly, okay, or based on your intuition, if you stock up more items which you don't sell it in the next month, what will happen? Your money will get locked up, okay, and you will end up, overstocking. For example, you stocked up more, television, specific television, brand, you stocked up more, whereas the customers were not at all buying that. You stocked up more than the reality, right? So the expectations from the, or the customers which they expect to buy it. Okay, so that is the problem. Especially in this case, it is fine. For example, if you stock up more perishable items like tomato or onion, what will happen, right? So you will, and in this case, you will, if you overstock it, it can perish it in 3 to 4 days time, right? You cannot stock it for a longer duration. Okay, so so in that case, if you get to know how, which product, how much we expect to sell it, if you know this well ahead, you can plan it accordingly. Okay, some extent, again, the prediction also not very accurate sometimes, right? There will be some kind of variation, but still you will not land up with something like overstocking. Understocking is also a problem. If you understock, for example, customers, whenever they go to my website and order some product, if that is not available most of the time, what they will think, so this website is not good, this company is not good, because whenever I go, it says out of stock. So the customer will leave your business. They will go and order it in your competitor's business. So in order to overcome all the things, right? So you can make, so now almost all the organization, they started using predictive analytics, the machine learning, deep learning, all the things. Okay. With this, you should be able to stock up the, you can stock up the optimal levels of the inventory. Okay. And now they, went one step further, something like, prescriptive analytics. In this case of prescriptive analytics, okay, what should I do about it? Okay, is it possible to prevent it? Is it possible to control it? What is the best course of action? You will come up with some kind of actionable items as part of the prescriptive analytics. Okay, if I stock up, with this, with this unit of, items, or the unit of units, if I stock up this many number of units in each product across the category, so is it okay, right? For example, another example is, let's say I wanted to predict which customers are going to leave my business. That is called your churn. There's something called churn analytics. Okay. So which customers are going to leave my business? Before even my customer is going to leave my business, is there any way if I can find out which customers are more likely to leave my business? Because after the customers leave your business and running after the customers, that will not work out. Before even they leave your business, if you are able to predict, okay, which customers are going to leave my business in well ahead, right? So what you can do is you can come up with some kind of action plans. As part of the prescriptive analytics, you will come up with some kind of action plans. So you call the customers and find out, oh, these are the customers are, as per my, model, machine learning model, we are able to successfully predict these so customers are more likely to leave. So those customers are more likely to leave. You call them randomly and then find out from them what is their exact cause, why they are not happy, all those things. And once you hear from them about their concern, you can take proactive measures and you can tell them, okay, so let's say a customer is complaining you the internet signal is not good. So what it is, you take up with the management, and if you take a swift action to address that issue, the customer will not leave you. So after the customer, when they leave you, and if you take an action, what is the use, right? It's something like, after a patient dies, and if you take an action, what is the use, right? The same situation here. So as part of predictive analytics, we make a prediction about the future in order to mitigate the risk, and not only to mitigate the risk, or something like, in the even the case of healthcare, right? So what is the probability that a patient can develop, heart attack, or a patient can develop cancer? If you know well ahead, you can, you can ask them to take some or make some, lifestyle changes. Okay. But after you develop this, what is the use, right? So that is the reason why it is always good if you know well ahead. So that's when the predictive analytics gained a lot of momentum. And then again, now they went one step ahead and they come up with some kind of action plans as part of prescriptive analytics. So these are the 4 types of analytics. Okay. Now, as part of Power BI, we are going to look at the descriptive analytics part, how we can create visually or stunning dashboards and reports using Power BI. And then diagnostic analytics is, right, that you will learn it, as you practice more. Okay. You need to have some kind of domain knowledge. Okay. With the domain knowledge, over a period of time, you should be able to become an expert in this. Okay. But importantly, we will focus on the descriptive, analytics. And in Power BI also, some extent, right, we can do some kind of forecasting and all. Okay. Next, we will take a look at the business intelligence. There are a lot of terms are floating in the industry. Okay, in the industry, especially in the software industry, if you see, right, they use different jargons and terms. They say analytics, they say business analytics, data analytics, and business intelligence. Now, let us take a look at, like I said earlier, right, as part of the agenda, here the outline, right? Learning objectives. I was talking about this one, business intelligence, because BI stands for business intelligence. Now let us take a look at what exactly business intelligence is all about. Business intelligence is nothing but the set of processes, okay, which includes collecting the data and creating the models and analyzing the data with queries. And before the even you analyze the queries, you pre-process the data. See, without data, you cannot do anything. So once you get the data, you need to model the data. And before even model the data, ideally, it should come here. Okay, you pre-process the data. So what do you mean by pre-processing the data? Because the data what we are getting in general is raw data. Okay, I'll tell you what is raw data. Okay, you need to pre-process this raw data, and then you need to model the data, and then you are going to visualize the data. Okay, as part of business intelligence, what is business intelligence? It involves a set of processes like collecting the data and pre-processing the data. These are the processes. Okay, these are processes and technologies and architectures. Okay, and they use different types of architectures. Okay, well, the one is something like your source system and data warehouse, and then the reporting thing. Another one is like you have source system, and then you have staging area, and you have data warehouse. So based on the business requirement, based on the reporting requirement, they will decide, the architecture. In simple term, as part of the business intelligence, business is nothing but the set of processes and technologies and architectures using which we are going to turn our raw data into meaningful data by plotting them in the charts and visuals in a report, okay, and dashboards. Okay, so once you create a report or dashboard, you can, by looking at this, by analyzing the visual, you will get the business insight or the actionable business insights. With that insights, you can take a call, where you need to focus more, where you need to where you don't have to focus. Okay, and those kind of where you need to take immediate action. Okay, where you need to take the near term actions. All these things you will get to know as with the help of the insights. Okay, so I was talking about the raw data. Okay, what is raw data? Raw data is something like this. Let's say you have something like a product table. Let's say in our source system database, let's say you are ordering the product via Amazon website. All the data are getting into your database, in their database, Amazon database. Okay, and but the data are whatever the order you raise it, according to you are raising only one order. Behind the scene, the data are available. Data gets stored in two tables. Okay, so one table will have the product information, other table will have the order related order transaction. You have something order transaction table. This is a product table. Okay, so whenever they introduce any new product, that product data will get in here, and whenever the customer raises any order, that data will go here. But if you look at these two tables, I call this as a raw data. Why? Okay, let's say you are just looking at this table. Don't look at this one. Okay, and if I ask you, okay, in order number AR001, what is the product we sold it? If you tell me P001, does it make any sense? No, right? Let's say you are selling in Amazon, they listed out 1 billion products, 1 billion products on their website, Amazon. Okay, they have 1 billion product key. If I randomly select any product key, and if I ask you, what is this product? You'll say P00 product key only you can tell. If I want to know the product name, I need to join this product key with my product table's product key column in order to get the product name. You need to join these two tables because you have a raw data. If you have only this data, that is not sufficient. If you have, these two tables are available, but if you don't join these two tables, you will not get the product name. And then let's say your manager want a report like this, region wise, product wise, what did he say? He wants to know the sales breakdown by region, by product name. Sales breakdown, total sales breakdown by product name and region. The product name is available here, but thank God region is available here for in this case. Okay, so here what you do is the north, two records, two products we sold it in north region, and two different products we sold it in south. So what you do is, the north 60 and 6120 total sales. in north 120 and south 875, 450 and 425. This is your south region total sales. Your manager is basically is looking for a report like this. And as part of this report, he wants to see the total sales in each region. And also he wants to know the profit, selling price minus cost price. And he wants to know the net margin. What is the net profit margin formula? Revenue minus cost divided by revenue, right? So this is the net profit margin. But in practice, right, this is a little bit complex one, right? It's not exactly same formula. We use different formula, but almost similar to this. Okay, fine. But in order to have these two columns, these three columns in my report, I don't have these columns are available in my existing table, and also the product name is not available in a single table. You need to join these two tables, and then you need to do some kind of aggregation. Aggregation is in the sense summarization. What is summarization? Summing the value, right? So the in the north region, in sandal soap, north region they sold only the sandal soap. P001 is sandal soap, right? So if you look at here, okay, here also they sold only the sandal soap. But how many number of sandal soap they sold? They sold it 60 plus 60, 120. This is the report they needed. So with the raw data itself, you cannot gain insight, because you need to pre-process them by joining those two tables. In case of any duplicate records are there, you need to remove it. In case of any missing values, you need to address it. In case of any outliers, you need to fix it. Okay, so once you convert your raw data into pre-processed data or processed data, which means yes, I'm able to join these two tables, and I removed some duplicate records, I did some kind of data cleaning, all the things, and then I created a new column. Okay, I derived a new column based on the existing column. Okay, and I have the cost price available here, and I have the list price available here. List price is nothing but your selling price, right? You need to multiply this one with your the quantity into list price. That is what your sales, and this quantity into your cost price. That is kind of your cost of goods sold. And this one into this one, how much? 4 into 60, 240, right? So okay, here I mentioned wrongly here. Total sales is something wrong here. 4 into 6, yeah, 240, right? So 240, I simply added the list price. Okay, ideally it should be like this. This is wrong. So 4 into 60 is 240, and again 2 into 60 is how much? 120. So 360 here, 360. Okay, so this is how you need. But profit, how will you find out? This is my based on my list price. This is the sales, and with the cost price, what is it? So you need to multiply the quantity by cost price to get to know the quantity by cost price. Correct. Yeah. So to get to know the cost of goods sold, if you subtract this value from this value, you will get your profit. And the next one is next margin. So net profit margin. So in order to calculate these three columns, to create three columns, right, you need to use some business logic. This is what your business logic, the formula is nothing but your business logic. Okay, and this is also used some aggregation. You do aggregation, you merge the tables, only then your data is pre-processed. Once you have this table, the processed data in it, right? So this table have a processed data in it, and then with this, if you create a chart, it'll be good, right? You don't have to do a lot of things there. You don't have to do heavy lifting when you create the chart. Simply you drag and drop the region, and you drag and drop the total sales and profit and net profit margin. That is more than sufficient. Okay, if the data is pre-processed, and if you reshape it in the required format, it is good, right? So that the reporting performance will be fast. This is that's what the point here is. You cannot gain insight with the raw data itself. You need to process your raw data, raw data. With the processed data, you should be able to gain insights with less effort. Okay, so this is the sample dashboard. It is related to the A customer value analysis dashboard in the case of insurance company, right? These are the metrics they use it. For example, number of customers, how many number of customers we sold the policies so far, and what is our customer base. And policies, these are called your KPI, key performance indicators or metrics. With this, you will measure it. Okay, for example, as of today, since we started the company until today, how many customers we onboarded. And when you look at the same dashboard in the next year or after 6 months, you can compare it, right? So even 2022 to 22 September, this many number of customers we acquired. And now, listen, after 6 months, if your total number of customers are like 18,000, it's very good, right? So you are able to onboard 100% more number of customers and policies. This many number of policies we sold, and this is the premium amount we collected so far. See here, K is there, right? So 41,103. So 41 million premium amount, dollar premium amount we collected so far, and $3 million claim amount, right? So processed so far. And with this report, you can make out quickly. See, all these things are KPIs. And if you look at very closely here, these things are, color coded with 3 different colors, colored with, 3 different colors. The green color tells us unemployed. This one tells us employed, sorry, this employed and unemployed and others. This at a glance, when somebody looks at this, they can gain a quick insight. Out of 9,134 customers, 62% are employed. So with this, we are able to understand employed people are more likely to buy, policies, insurance policies. Unemployed, obviously, their income is less. They are not working anywhere. Maybe unemployed people, they are homemakers, okay, and others are something like 12%. You can gain a quick insight in addition to this metric value, okay, or the KPIs, key performance indicators. And the important reports, we keep it as part of dashboard because we don't want to keep so many reports. It will be cluttered and it will be confusing. All the, you need to work with the stakeholders. And, what we do is usually we create a mock-up report, and mock-up report design, we will share it on the, so this is how, this is where we keep the KPIs, and this is where these reports will be. Is it okay? Once they say, you change this year, we'll make changes. And then what we do is we'll go ahead and create the reports or dashboards, okay? Now let us take a look at what is Power BI. Power BI is Microsoft product. It is a self-service business intelligence tool. What do you mean by self-service business intelligence tool? Even people with Excel background, right? So if somebody has already worked on Excel some extent, even people with the Excel background, they can develop basic reports, simple reports, or maybe the medium reports, medium complex reports some extent, okay, without the help of the IT team or without the help of, so for this, right, to develop a simple report or the medium complex report, you don't have to be a tech savvy. That is the reason why we call it as a self-service business intelligence tool. In crude term, even a layman can develop a report if they learn it for 2 to 3 days. Right? The learning curve is very less when it comes to developing, 2 or 3 reports, baby simple reports, right? You don't have to have too much of knowledge, technical background here. So now the question is, then why should I go for the training? Is it really for me to, is it really necessary for me to undergo? Yes, obviously, because enterprises, they not only look for the basic report, they are looking for very advanced analytics. Okay. In order to perform advanced analytics, you should be knowing something called DAX. DAX stands for Data Analytics Expression. Okay. So as part of DAX, a lot of built-in functions are available. We don't have to write programs. The functions are already available. You need to simply pass the arguments. That's it. But though I said that's it, right? It is easier said than done. Something like that. You cannot simply use all the DAX functions. Even the people with programming background, they get stuck up here when it comes to advanced analytics. When should I use which function? Okay, so for example, if I can I use summarize, can I use group by? What is the difference between these two? So when it group by and summarize, both of them are let's say if I use both this, I'm able to get the same outcome or output. But which one is best when it comes to performance? So that is where you need training as part of this training program, right? So this is the learning curve is a little bit steep when it comes to DAX, and also you have something called data modeling. Data modeling, you need to learn it. Okay, this is very much important. Okay, without when it comes to Power BI, so you need to create, you need to define the data modeling. Okay, you need to model the data. Without modeling the data, your report cannot filter the data accurately. Hence, you should be knowing the data modeling part and DAX also. Okay, so this is where I will help reduce your learning curve, and we will take a step by step right approach to explain each and everything as part of these two sections. And also Power Query Editor, we have something called Power Query Editor. There I'll show you how to perform ETL. Don't worry about all these things. I will talk each and everything in detail in the later sessions. At this moment, you just understand Power BI is a Microsoft tool. It is a self-service business intelligence tool. The reason why they call it self-service business is even a layman can develop a basic report, simple reports. Too much of technical knowledge is not required. The next question is why Power BI? Why there is a hype around, a lot of hype around Power BI? Is it an hype, or is it the reality? The number one reason is cost. I guess most of you might be aware there is something called Power BI Desktop. It is absolutely free. Using Power BI Desktop itself, you can create a report, and you can create a stunning report, and you can create the data model design. Okay, so you can do it here using Power BI Desktop. It's absolutely free, and there is no trial period. Okay, you can use it as long as you want it. Okay, the number one reason why Power BI is popular is cost. Okay, it is one of the cheapest tool in the Gartner Magic Quadrant. If you compare with other tools, Power BI is cheapest. It's oddly $10 per user per month. It costs only this much. This is for pro license. Okay, on cloud. Okay, this is for cloud, not for Power BI Desktop. Power BI Desktop is still absolutely free. But once you develop a report in Power BI Desktop, you cannot share it with others. Okay, so if you want to share it with others, you need to have at least the pro license. And the pro license, you can buy it on Power BI Cloud Service. Okay, you can use it there. Okay, it costs just $10 per user per month. But 60 days, first 60 days when you sign up first time, you will get 60 days access to it, free access to the premium license itself. Okay. And other reason why Power BI is gaining a lot of popularity is a self-service solution. And the other important reason is the number of features. If you compare with other tools in the market, Power BI support a lot of features. You can write 1,200 different functions, the DAX functions and M functions put together. You can write this. You can use 1,200 different functions using which you can perform advanced analytics, and you can perform advanced data transformations. Okay, and also you can create 280 plus 200 and close to 280 visuals. You can use it. What do you mean by visuals? Charts. There's something called a column chart, bar chart, stacked bar chart, stacked column chart, pie chart, GA chart. You can create 280 visuals. Custom visuals is also available. Okay, you can create a stunning report with the help of custom visuals and other visuals. Okay, and you have map also. Okay, you can use map also. See, this feature is not available in other tool. It's there, but it is not that much in quantity. The next one is the data connectivity. With Power BI, you can connect to 100 plus different data sources, be it a big data or Parquet file or JSON file, XML file or Excel file, or flat files like comma separate value file, SQL, Oracle, Teradata, SAP, and you name anything, it can pull data from that data source. You can pull the data from structured data, semi-structured, unstructured data sources using Power BI. So Power BI has a greater capability in terms of data connectivity. Because of these reasons, Power BI, gained a lot of popularity, because of which most of the customers, they are running after Power BI because the cost, right? When you compare with the Tableau licensing cost is way high compared to Power BI. When it comes to Power BI desktop, it's absolutely free. You can download Tableau also, but you can use it only for 15 days. Even with the 15 days trial period, you can work with a limited number of records. You cannot use 100,000 records and all. That is the downside of using Tableau. Guys, believe me or not, I was part of a couple of pre-sales calls when I worked with TCS and all. Okay, so they, we could hear that most of the few customers, right, they are migrating their existing Tableau reports to Power BI because of these features. Okay, now let us jump into understanding the architecture of the Power BI environment. Now let us see how these pieces interact as part of this architecture. It's something like human anatomy. So where the heart is there, where the lung is there, where the kidney is there. Each organ at the high level, at least where it is located, and how it functions. As a doctor, you should be knowing it. Likewise, as a data analyst, Power BI data analyst, you should be knowing the architecture at least at a high level. Okay, what components are there? So here, if you see here, there are, when it comes to Power BI, there are two sides to it. The one is the cloud, the other one is on-premise. Okay. So what is on-premise? It is a physical server. It is located and maintained inside your office. Let's say you bought this server and you install this server in your office. That is what called as on-premise. The next one is cloud. You all know what is cloud. It is a virtual server. These servers are maintained by the cloud service provider. Who are the leading cloud service provider? AWS, Amazon Web Services. And you have something called Azure, Microsoft Azure. This is another cloud, okay, virtual server. And you have some GCP. Likewise, a lot of other companies, a lot of other players are there when it comes to cloud market. And these three players, the Amazon and Azure, even Google, right? So they are the leading player in the Google market, okay, in the in the cloud segment, okay. So as you can see here, the Power BI desktop client. So you can go to Power BI Power BI website, and you can download this one, the Power BI desktop. It's absolutely free. You can bring in data from different sources like, Azure Cloud and Azure SQL database and Excel file. You can bring in the data here. Okay, because your company data are lying in heterogeneous source system file, heterogeneous source systems. Using Power BI, since Power BI supports multiple connectors, right? So using which you can connect to all these different data sets, and then you can bring those data into your Power BI desktop, and you can do data cleaning, data pre-processing, and then you can create the report. Once you create the report, you can publish it to the cloud. Why should I publish it to cloud? Once you develop your report, once you do the data modeling, once you do data cleaning, data pre-processing, data modeling, and then once you develop your report, if you publish it to cloud, people across the globe within your organization, they can access the published report on cloud anytime with any device, and from anywhere. That is the whole idea of publishing your reports on cloud. That is also the reason why cloud computing became popular. Okay, and the next one is the mobile service. So this is your cloud service, Power BI cloud service, but this involves licensing cost. But earlier I said 60 days you will have a trial access. Afterwards, you need to go for a license. Okay, you need to renew it. So this is a cloud service. This is your Power BI desktop. And in the cloud, in the case of Power BI cloud service, right? So this is a web interface, okay? And you can create interactive report here also, like how you can create it in Power BI desktop. And here, in the case of cloud service, you can develop dashboards. But whereas in Power BI desktop, you can create reports only, you cannot create dashboard. So you might be asking, what is the difference between report and dashboard? There is a subtle difference. We'll explain it down the line, okay? And once you publish the report, you can share it with your stakeholders, business stakeholders, different managers or the relevant manager, relevant people. Okay, those people are intent to watch this specific report. For example, sales department or sales line of business, the VP, he wants to see the report. Not only the VP and also the managers, right? They want to have access to this one. Okay, they will give some privileges. Not all the people can see the report. Only specific stakeholders, you can share the report. So for these specific stakeholders, they should be able to view this report. As a CEO, obviously, you're a company, you're the C-level executive, the chief executive officer, and you should be able to see, all the reports, okay, whichever report. But at the end of the day, they look at only the, the MIS dashboard, okay, important keyboard, the dashboards, okay. And then with the mobile service, right, even with the Power BI cloud service, you can create a mobile dashboard design so that you can view the dashboard in the mobile phone, right? And when it comes to Power BI cloud, you don't have to install anything. Simply go to Power BI website, simply sign up there. Once you get the credentials, you're all set. You can, you can log into Power BI cloud service, and then you can start creating the reports or dashboards. You can create it. Okay, so far we discussed about the desktop, Power BI desktop. It's absolutely free, and whereas cloud service is a licensed one. And so using cloud service, we can share the reports across the globe, and people can access this anytime, anywhere. And mobile service also available. We can go to your Google, sorry, the what is it, Play, right? So in your mobile phone, you go and install Power BI. Okay, and so that you have a mobile service in your mobile phone. Also, you can install this app, Power BI app, so that you can access the report that were published on cloud from anywhere on the go. Okay, and the next thing is, now you understood three components: Power BI, the cloud service, desktop, and mobile service. Next one is data gateway. What is this one is all about? It's a bridge between the on-premises and cloud. Okay, it is a software. It's a piece of software that is required to access data located in an on-premise net. Let's say you published a report on cloud. Your report got published here, and if you wanted to read some data from your, in your office server, right? So you need to have something called data gateway, and also this data gateway plays another important role. Once you develop a report, when you publish it on cloud, along with the report, the data also get shipped or published along with the report automatically in a safe manner by data gateway. You don't have to publish the report separately, data separately. When all you need to just publish the report, the related data specific to that report will get published automatically by data gateway. This is another component. Okay, the next one is the report server. You have something called report server. Whatever you do it as part of the Power BI cloud service, you can do the same thing in the case of report server. But even it is a licensed one. You need to buy a license for report server. Okay. So now the question is, cloud service, I'll have to buy a license. Even for this, I have to buy a license. Why should I spend money redundantly here, right? By having redundant component, why should I spend money unnecessarily, right? So the reason is, for example, your data is highly secure. Okay, let's say yours is payment gateway. Okay, you're running a, your main business is payment gateway. In that case, right, all the data are highly secured, hence you cannot publish it on cloud. Or let's say bank, In the case of bank, the data are highly secure. Right? Not all the reports are highly secure. There are some reports that are highly secure. Those reports are highly secure. You can publish it here instead of publishing on cloud. See, though the cloud service providers, right, they promise that the data is secure and safe on cloud once you publish it. Still, when the data or when the report is being published to the cloud, right, it can be prone to hack. The hackers can hack, the data still, right? So if you think the data is very sensitive, don't publish it on cloud, and you can publish it on the report server so that people can access your on-premise servers. In that kind of situation, it is required. You need to decide which one is required based on your company's requirement. If you are in a banking, obviously you need to have this one report server as well as the cloud service, though it involves licensing cost, right? So you need to pay licensing for these two. Obviously, when there is a trade-off. End of the day, security is very much important. And apart from report server, there is something else called the report builder. The report builder is different from report server. What is that report builder is all about? With the report builder, you can create paginated reports. What do you mean by paginated reports? You can create pixel perfect reports. What do you mean by pixel perfect? Right, the resolution. Okay, and for example, you have you want to print your invoices and delivery notes and receipts. So in that kind of situation, obviously you will look for the resolution, right? A good resolution, right? High resolution. In that kind of situation, you can go for the report builder to get a pixel perfect printout, right? So using right, so you can create paginated report with nothing but the pixel perfect reports that you can generate it with the help of report builder. Even the report builder involves licensing cost. Okay, the next one is the Power BI embedded. It is an Azure service. It enables the businesses to embed the Power BI's analytical capabilities into other apps. For example, I developed a report and I published on cloud, and then I want to embed that report into my website. Yes, it is possible with Power BI embedded services. Okay. And then now it's time now for us to take a look at the components of Power BI Desktop. Now, let us narrow down to this specific component. So I'm not going to touch, I discussed at a high level what each component is all about and when you need to use which component, okay, and what is the role of each component. At a high level we discussed. Now let us narrow down to our Power BI Desktop. Within this Power BI Desktop, how many components are there? Within the Power BI Desktop, only 3 components are there. So when you launch your Power BI Desktop tool, I just I'm at to launch. In the meanwhile, let me launch it. So you need to type Power BI Desktop and press enter. Fine. Okay, so in the Power BI Desktop, there are 3 components are there. Like I said, to create a report or dashboard, you need to have the data. But having the data itself not sufficient. The data should be clean. It should be pre-processed, right? So the first and foremost thing, what you need to load the data. And second thing is, you need to clean the data. I always refer the Power Query component, which is available as part of Power BI Desktop, as a kitchen. In our home, we have a kitchen. So in the kitchen, what we do, let's say you buy some vegetables, right? So in order to cook, gravy or something like that, you need to cut the vegetables. First, before you cutting it, you need to clean it, cut it, and then mix it with some recipes. Or in the case of meat, if you're a meat lover, let's say you bought fish and you need to cut it. Before you cut it, clean it, and then you cut it, and then you discard whichever thing that you don't need it, and then you mix the chopped pieces of the fish with the gravy, the ingredients, right? Masala, all the things, and then only go ahead and do the cooking. Similarly, in the case of Power Query editor, we do all kind of data related pre-processing. cleaning the data, merging the data, appending the data, deduplicating the data. And if you want to do reshaping the data, like you want to do transpose the data, pivot the data, unpivot the data, you name it, anything, any kind of data transformation, we do it here. This is what earlier I used the term ETL. Guys, you remember? So one of my students, recently attended an interview. When they asked him what is ETL, he was a little bit, nervous because he forgot that. Okay. And the T stands for transform, data transformation. Okay. What do you mean by data transformation? Like I said, you get in real life scenario, you will get the raw data. Okay. So in that case, you may have to merge the data from more than one table, and sometimes you need to append the data from, let's say they have given you 10 files. You need to combine all the 10 files in a single file. On top, you need to combine this table data with other tables. Okay. And then you need to do cleaning all the things. The data type was wrongly assigned by Power BI Desktop. Instead of assigning date data type, it assigned wrongly text data type. You need to go address, formatting. Okay. Formatting, reshaping, everything you need to do it you'll be doing it as part of transformation. Once you transform your data, next you load the data into your model. It's something like, right, before marriage, you do all kind of makeup, everything, right? You go to a beauty parlor, you do everything, the same thing. You just think that way. Okay, maybe it's stupid analogy. So you go to a parlor, you do everything, right? You will have a complete transformation, right? Before, you go to a parlor, before and after, if you refer your picture, it will be completely different, right? You do all kind of transformation with the data. And then once your data is transformed well, you load it into the model. It's something like, once the beauty parlor, once they do their job, right? And then they will take you to that marriage stage, the same thing. So then it is ready for, the visualization. So the ETL stands for extracting the data. Where you extract the data? For example, your data is available in SQL Server, Microsoft SQL Server. The raw data is available in SQL Server. You need to pull the data from SQL Server. That is what you extract. You just think that way at this moment. Once you pull the data from, let's 10 tables or 15 tables, next step is you need to transform. You need to join the tables based on the business logic. You need to combine the data, all the things you do it. And then what you do is loading. When you do the data transformation, once you, apply that one, it will get loaded into your model automatically. Fine. So Power Query Editor, you can do the transformation, data transformation. With Power BI Desktop itself, we can extract the data, and loading is, as part of the transformation itself, taken care, in the case of Power BI, especially in Power Query Editor. So you have the data, and with the help of Power Query, you transform the data. Next step is you need to model the data. You need to do data modeling. This is very specific to Power BI. When it comes to Tableau and other tools, you don't have to do the data modeling. But in one way, it is really good. If you learn the data modeling, you'll be almost, mastering the BI concepts, business intelligence concepts. Okay, what is data warehouse? What is dimensional modeling? What is star schema? Everything I'll explain you. Now, at this moment, you just think as part of Power BI Desktop, we have 3 components. Using Power Query, you can do the data transformation. And then next step is you do the data modeling using Power Pivot. And then the third step is once you model the data, so it's something like your blueprint. Before you construct your house, you need to have the solid blueprint. Once you have the solid data modeling in place, model design in place, the next step is you're all set. You can go to the Power BI, the report canvas, and wherein you can start creating the charts. Look here, this is my Power BI Desktop. So once you install the Power BI Desktop, don't worry, explain you little later. Let's say you install the Power BI Desktop. So how do we launch it? Go to the start menu. Next to the start menu, you have the search icon. Here you just type Power BI Desktop. When you type Power BI Desktop, you can see the icon here. Either you click on it or you click on open. The moment you click on, either this one or that, this tool will get launched. Once this tool get launched, we'll find the welcome screen. This is the yellow colored one, is the welcome screen. We don't need this one. You just click on the cross here. Look here, this is the one I'm talking about. This is the cross. You just click on this cross. so that it will get closed. We don't need this. Okay. And this is what your Power BI desktop. Okay. In the Power BI desktop, you can see three icons on the left side. This one is your, sorry, and 1 second, let me. So this is the one, is your report canvas. By default, when you open your Power BI desktop, what you see is your report canvas or report view. This is where we create the charts and everything. For example, on the right side, you will find the visualization pane. Under this pane, you can see a lot of visuals. I just click on this column chart, clustered column chart, or whatever I needed. If I want a donut chart, I can do that. If I want to use something like the decomposition tree or the key influences. Look here, the key influences, decomposition tree. These visuals are powered by artificial intelligence. Okay, so the Microsoft Power BI desktop tool is also gained a lot of popularity because of because of the fact that there are certain things, right, powered by artificial intelligence. They implemented artificial intelligence as part of this one. Fine, you can create the visuals so that your report will be ready. Okay, and then so here you do it everything. Okay, that is what your report view. Next one, the next icon is your model view. I was talking about the blueprint. You remember in the PowerPoint, look here, I'm talking about this one, Power Pivot. This is where we need to do the blueprint, all the things, right? You need to do the data modeling, everything you do it here. Once you clean your data, okay, look here, this is how, right? So let's say this is your product table, this is your customer table, this is your fact table, sales table. These three tables should get linked. A line should be, you need to create the relationship between the tables. Only then you can, read the data from all these three tables in one go. Okay, since you have the relationship, these tables can be joined, and then you can pull the data from all these three tables. Supposing you have a product name here, whereas your product key only, but here you have product key and product name. To know the product name for each line item, when you join this tables with the product key column with this table's product key, you can get the product name, right? So you need to define the relationship here. Okay, and that is what. So don't worry, guys. This is a little bit advanced for non-programmers. I'll explain everything step by step. If you say I'm not clear, I will repeat it. Don't worry. Okay. Now I click on this icon. Look here, with this icon, you can switch from one view to another view. If I click on this, it will take me to the report canvas view. This is where I can create the reports, everything. And this is where I can see. Now the question is, what about the kitchen? I discussed about, right? You need to click on the transform data. Look here, I'll repeat one more time. So under your, the home ribbon, by default, it is in the home ribbon. So in this, you can see an icon called transform data. You need to click on this gently once. It will open the Power Query editor. This is where the Power Query editor, it's kind of, right, when you click on it, it'll open separately, but still it is part of your Power BI desktop. Okay. So this is where we do all data cleaning, everything. For example, I just, to help you to understand, right, how it works. Look here. Here we have something like get data icon, right? And when you see this, what you can, what you can relate it with it. This is similar to our, this is exactly like our Excel icon, right? Including the text. Excel also, you can find the same icons, same thing like this. See the Microsoft, right? What they did when they developed this tool, right? They wanted to keep some, the look and feel, right? When it comes to look and feel, they just, retain the Excel related, icons, all the things, so that the Excel users can learn it quickly. Okay. Look here, this is, here I'm going to click on this get data. I'm going to click on CSV file. Okay, you can connect to any file. So let's say your manager has given you the Excel file. You can click on this one, and then you can open the Excel file. For the sake of demonstration, I just click on the CSV file. What is CSV file? Comma separated value file. Each column is separated by comma. Look here, I just clicked on it. In my D drive, I have a folder called that one. In this, I have something called sales underscore w04.csv file. Look here. I selected my file and I click on open it. Now Power BI Desktop establishes a connection with your CSV file, and then it will bring up the data preview window. Let's say in your CSV file, you have 100,000 records, so that it will not show everything because this is a preview window. This preview window, just it will show some records, sample of the records, okay? And this is to make sure that, are you looking for this file or whatever the data that are there in this file is okay. Now you can get a quick preview with this. When you look at it, you can see some problem is there here, right? So the column names are something weird here. What is column 1? If somebody is asking column 6, how will you know, right? There is some problem with the format, the file format. Which file format? The sales the underscore W04. This is the one, this file. This is the one I loaded, wasn't it? In this file, they left some blank space at the top of it. There's some problem here, right? And because of which, right, it was not picking up this column name. Look, actually the column name is row ID and order ID, order date. This order date should supposed to be here, and this order ID is supposed to be here, and row.id is supposed to be here. There is some problem with the data file itself. Okay, fine. There is no point in blaming the person who gave the data, but still I can, do all, proper formatting using Power Query Editor. Look here, I just simply hit the load button. I will explain the other buttons later. Okay. When I hit this load button, the data will get loaded into our Power BI Desktop. You need to have at least 8 GB RAM in your laptop, okay? Because Power BI is a little bit slow, even for lesser data, right? So in this case, 25,000 records got loaded. Okay, now it went directly to this one. Since I already opened the Power Query, it is going there. And I just close this one. Okay, before that, why to close it? Let it be there. I'm still working on it. Look here. Once the file get loaded into your Power BI Desktop, on the right side, extreme right side, under this fields pane, we'll find the file name here. Sorry, I mistakenly pressed this one. Okay. You will find something called sales underscore W04. This is what your CSV file, comma separated value file. What do you mean by comma separated value file? Each column is separated by comma. In this case, in this file, they use the separator as a comma. Okay, hence we call it a comma separator. Don't worry, I will show you. Okay, well, when you see next to this file name, table icon is there. You need to remember this, though it is not a very important point, right? So you need to remember, you need to know this, okay? Next to this file, you can see this icon. This is a table icon. Whether you load CSV file, Excel file, or JSON file, or you load any type of file, once you load it, right, it will be considered as a table in Power BI Desktop. What it says is, hey, load whatever into my file, but I will consider them as a table. That's all. Okay. Now you want to see the columns that are part of this table. You need to expand this icon. You need to click on this, it will get expanded. So already, as we noticed in the data preview window, the column names were something weird here. Okay, let it be there. Now we are curious to see the data that are part of this file. Where can I see that? That is where there's something called data view. The middle one is data view. This currently you are in report view. To switch to data view, you click on it. Wait for some time. It will take some time to load the data that is available as part of this table. You can see the data only here. Okay. Okay, you can see the data, and using this scroll bar, one second, let me just, using this scroll bar, you can scroll towards the left side. Gradually, if you move this here, you can see, okay, all the columns have all the relevant data in it, fine, everything is fine. Okay, but only problem is with the column, right? If somebody look at this, what this column is all about, something strange. Okay, but by looking at this, okay, Paris is a city. Hamburg seems to Paris, Vienna. I know these are something like a city name. Ideally, it should be city name. But there are some cases, right? Here you can see standard class. What the hell is this? You will not be able to understand this one. So there is something wrong with the column naming convention. What I do is I just go back to the home ribbon. I just selected home ribbon being in this data view. And what I do is I just open the transform data. Transform data, which is nothing but my Power Query data. When I click on this, it will open the Power Query editor. Look here, it will open the Power Query editor. In this Power Query editor, we can see all the columns, right? But same thing, the same issue is there. But there is one option here, beautiful option. If you click on this ribbon, transform here, look here, I just click on it gently once. When you click on this, you will have an option called use first row as headers. If I click on this down arrow, it is like a drop down. I just click on it. You have two options. Use first row as headers. If I click on this, what will happen is the first row will become a column header. But unfortunately, we have a blank space. It will replace this column 1, column 2 by some blank space. Once again, if you click that one, this row, header will become a column header. Or use this first row as a column header. It will promote this row values as a column header. Look here how it happens. You need to watch very closely here. I just clicked on transform and this use first row headers. I just hit this one and this blank space gone now. It got moved to the column header, but still it is not meaningful. I redo it one more time. Use first row as headers. It is pretty straightforward, isn't it? With this itself, we can understand. Use this first row. What is the first row here? This is the one first row. Can you see it here? This is the first row. This is the second row. So now what we do is with the help of transform. Okay, when you click on that option like use first row as column headers, this one will get promoted to column. Look here. I just click on this. Now row ID, has gone. It got shifted from here to here. Good. Now we did some kind of formatting. Though there are some issues with the data file, we did some kind of formatting using the Power Query editor. Okay. And then what I do is when I click on file, we have an option will close and apply. Now I no longer need the Power Query editor. I just closed it. I'll explain you what is apply in the next session because I don't want to dump you everything in a single session. Look here now, you can see the column names, right? Because in the Power Query editor, we have shifted the first row as a column header. So now the column names are in the proper thing. When you click on any specific thing, for example, if I click on segment, and on top of this one, you can see the data type here. Look here, this is what I'm saying. Segment is a column, and this column is a text data type. Similarly, you can select any, whichever column that you need, you can select it to see the data type and all. Okay, guys, with this, I'm going to wrap up this session because it's the first session. I don't want to overwhelm you by, by continuing with some more concepts. The next thing is this Wednesday night, same time, we will circle back. For the next 4 to 5 weeks, right? If you are okay with this, right? If you can adjust with me, we will have next 2 weeks. We will have the weekdays every Monday and Wednesday night. And post this, we will have it on weekends because the weekend, right? After 2 weeks, one batch will get over, right? So the timing and all, I will tell you. I know that from international, couple of people are joining it to match with your time, right? I will check with you all, right? So about the mutual time, and then we'll set up the, I'll schedule it accordingly. Any questions so far? See, regarding the job opportunity and, so I have a career gap. One second, I'll just stop this.